Sir, very interesting discussion on rice. Now, one of the things that have been reported, is who will plant this crop or this grain? Because I think you yourself said when you were still at the DA that you were already warning that the farmers are aging and that we need to get the younger Filipinos to get it. And then recently you were in Jakarta at the ASEAN summits. You're talking about agripreneurship. Can you expound on that concept? Is that the solution?
Yes, Clint,
to our problem?
I think let's use the Philippine scenario, the Philippine agriculture sector as a case in point. You know, we need to elevate our mindset in treating agriculture as now an agribusiness venture. Otherwise, as we said before, subsistence farming, 1 hectare average. So all this will lead to really backyard agriculture.
Yeah.
So agribusiness is the way forward. And I've been hammering that out when during the Duterte administration that I served, that the way we can elevate agriculture so that we can also encourage the youth, and because our farmers are aging, is agripreneurship.
Okay.
Now, I was highlighting early on about clustering.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So necessarily when you are now clustered, then you go elevate your game into forming cooperatives. So these cooperatives will be the entry point as well to have a good mindset, a more comprehensive mindset of agribusiness, so that the production can be handled much better in terms of increasing productivity per unit area by the farmers. Then the cooperatives will handle the market.
Okay.
And will handle the agribusiness opportunities for the group. In that way, the farmers will be getting much higher, of course, again, as a group, they have higher productivity and higher income because they are now looking at the whole value chain. Much more when they partner with private sector. And that's where that public-private partnership between the big brothers and the government together will partner to nurture and assist the clustered farms, the cooperative farms. So that's what we are proposing even in our discussions in Jakarta. You know, I was requested to highlight how can we ensure food security for the ASEAN region from the Business Advisory Council point of view. And it's good governments are already talking as well and having good agreements. But again, highlighting the importance of the private sector investments. Because governments cannot do alone in terms of all the budget necessary to prop up the agriculture sector. It has to be led by the private sector. So in our case, we have the Kapatid Angat Lahat Agri Program, KALAP.
KALAP, yep.
Under the Go Negosyo, Mr. Joey Concepcion initiated this. We started this in January. And now we are almost having about 32 big brothers, meaning these are the heads of companies, big companies in agriculture engaged in agribusiness. So we signed agreements with the government, particularly those institutions directly involved in those commodity industries. And in a way, we are saying that the business models, the inclusive business models of the big brothers, the private companies, will have to be also be institutionalized in the roadmap development of that commodity industry. So that's what the government has agreed to also, to really see to it that the successful models already experienced by private sector can also be advocated much more by government.
Yeah. Sir, do you think that's possible to do in rice? Because, you know, I see a lot of younger people going into with a high-tech approach to vertical farming. They have these higher value crops, but rice is quite strategic and important for the Philippines. Is it?
Very much so. The new technologies, the drone technology
Yes.
for one,
Yes.
it can be used for direct seeding.
Okay.
Rice.
Wow. Okay.
It can be used to do some spraying.
Okay.
It can be used for fertilizing the rice, the biofertilizers for
Okay.
one. So there are many uses of these new technologies.
Okay.
Even simple apps like monitoring planting dates
Okay.
and harvesting dates, so that you can directly link them to, say, markets.
Yeah.
So these are very powerful tools, and now can encourage the younger generation to come because of that agribusiness orientation, because of the new use of technologies
Technology.
like drones, the apps, and
Even AI,
artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Yes, everything is possible now,
Yeah.
that we can really bring the younger generation to agriculture and agribusiness.
Is that already happening, Secretary, or do we need to do more promotions?
Okay,
Because I think when you were Secretary,
When I was there as secretary, Klink, we saw to it that there are good programs that we initiated,
Yes, sir.
and that's still ongoing.
okay,
That's still being done by the present leadership. That's good. And we can accelerate. And even if there are other programs, like what I can mention one additional program which we started, but there's little funding today, is the startups in
Okay.
agriculture.
Okay.
We need to build up that mindset again, that culture of having to encourage the younger generation by way of having some funding for their initiatives and their ideas, having to have proof of concept before you go commercialize it.
At the ASEAN meeting, they were talking about cross-border flow of funding for micro, small, and medium enterprises. Did you hear any of that discussion maybe applied to agripreneurs in ASEAN?
Good you asked me that, Klink. We signed up, Go Negosyo here,
Yes.
through the Kapatid Angat Lahat program,
Kalap,
agri-program, Kalap, signed up with 7 ASEAN countries.
Wow, okay.
So this is the first time at the ASEAN level, elevated na yung Business Advisory Council to Business Advisory Council level. And this morning we met, and there is a visit of the Malaysian group that will now pursue this collaboration at the business level. So ang ganda, we had signed first with Malaysia, followed by Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos. So almost all the member economies are now utilizing this power of the Business Council as a way to enhance also this big brother relationship with the government to help the SMEs.
Yes.
So you know pretty well that there are lots of MSMEs in agriculture,
Yes, sir.
needing capacity building,
Yes, sir.
needing all this assistance, mentoring,
Yes.
linkage to capital, and linkage to markets.
Yeah.
So ito po yung pinag-aabalan natin ngayon.
Yeah, but outside of the Go Negosyo Kala program, you have been going around as well the region. Is there other opportunities you think for young entrepreneurs to connect with, say, Malaysian, Indonesian, Thai young entrepreneurs? Is that a possibility?
Yes, that's part of the. I would call. We have now brought to the level of the ASEAN
Okay.
the CALAP program,
Okay.
where we will also look at possibilities of the young entrepreneurs to have partnership between and among countries already.
I see.
So iba't ibang member economies ng ASEAN ganon, hindi lang yung big business, but seeing to it that we will look at the possibilities of encouraging the younger generation to elevate their game in agribusiness.
Yeah. You know, I noticed that the people who were drawn to you, and I said, including the Filipinos who were attending there, many of them are young. And you know, what would it take to convince, you know, from your experience, what would it take to convince younger Filipinos that agriculture is sexy and, I guess, profitable?
You know, there is this Young Challenge program that we started in DA. This was funded out of the initiative of Senator Amy Marcos.
Okay.
You know, there is this is a year-long program where they start with a province, goes to the regional, and now national.
I see.
So they are given, I mean, their ideas are translated into concept paper, and until they evolve and can showcase a proof of concept. That's an important program that can be upgraded again. Another one I mentioned about startups.
Yes, sir.
You know, because there are many younger generation though who would like to really get busy, get engaged, and again, the startup is necessary. Enough funding for that is key. Then, of course, there are existing collaboration with Taiwan, with Israel, the government. We are sending youngsters, the younger generation, to stay there 3 months and or even 6 months, so that when they come back, there should be a funding available, so that their ideas that they have learned can be converted into agribusiness opportunities. So ito po dapat pagigihan pa natin by way of really enticing the younger generation to come to do farming and agribusiness.
Sir, you know, the government is now looking at K-12. Is there a need to maybe revisit how we can inculcate a love of agriculture in the land?
I agree. Elementary days when I was then younger.
Yes, sir.
High school, lahat yan.
Tatanim.
May gardening sa high school, may actual farming na.
Yeah.
So we need to introduce again. Kung walang gardening dun sa primary elementary school, ibalik natin school gardening as a subject and practiced already right there and there. Ganun din sa high school, dapat pagigihan na early enough the importance of innovation and technology, so that as they grow and finish even their degree, or not even having a degree, but say a 2-year diploma course, then they can now go straight to business.
Right.
You know, ang problema natin dito sa bansa, yung higher education institution, ang goal lang ng establishment ng CHED ay employability.
Right.
I think that's short-sighted.
Okay.
I believe we should have an equally important goal of entrepreneurship.
Interesting, yeah.
You know, the data would indicate almost every year we graduate 700 students, but only 10 to 15% of them are gainfully employed.
Right, yeah.
So many of these graduates that we have every year are unemployed, if not underemployed. So the entrepreneurship paradigm is key to really encouraging, and early enough, even while they are in high school and college, that paradigm of entrepreneurship must start.
And agriculture can supply
Agriculture